you tell I'm in denial?
You can't stay at the top forever.
I was also very surprised when I looked at my phone and saw Joe Girardi dismissed.
Well, I think mine were with common sense.
I think now belongs in the all-time greats top 10.
Boston, I really think only got to this point because of a guy named Chris Middleton being out for the Bucks.
That power play just was unbearable. It was humming.
Man, am I happy. I knew that this was going to happen. I knew he was going to come back.
When I think of New York Yankees now is Judge, probably people in the past when Jeter was coming up.
I would be shocked. A little bit hurt.
Hey, this is Greg Tepper of Dave Campbell's Texas Football, TexasFootball.com, and Valley Sports Southwest. You are listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
This was recorded before Max Fried signed with the Yankees. What's up, y'all? Welcome to our MLB Opinions of the Week. I'm Kevin. I'm joined by the man, Austin, who might be looking at some of these free agents. Austin, and then
I really hope the Yankees are looking at some of these guys, and I'm excited to see where they end up. There's a lot of guys off the board: Willie Adames, Blake Snell, Tyler O'Neill, and obviously Juan Soto. But there's still big names left. These guys are going to get paid a lot of money. I do think that the Juan Soto deal will kind of increase their pay just a little bit. But who do you want to start with?
Let's start with I think Alex Bregman's a really interesting name. We have the top five remaining after all the other players have signed. And I think Bregman, I'm very interested to see what happens with him. Does he return to Houston? And because it seems like he had a good season last year, but it kind of seems like he embodies Houston. And I don't think he'll ever lose that, but I'm curious what happens to him in this market.
I'm interested as well. Last year, he was pretty good. He won a Gold Glove. He had 4.1 WAR. He was one of Houston's best players. And I do think it's interesting to see where he's going to go. Where do you have Alex Bregman ending up?
So I don't have him going to Houston. I think if Houston wanted him, they would have already extended him, already would have paid him. And he has talked about he'd be willing to move to second base to play, which kind of signifies to me that he's not going to return to Houston. I have him going to the Mariners.
Okay. Interesting. Cross-division rivals.
Yeah.
I have him going to a team that he's played a lot in the playoffs. I have him going to the Red Sox.
Ooh, okay. So we think the Houston era is done.
For Bregman, yes.
Ooh, I did think about having the Red Sox, but I chose not to. But I'm very interested to see what they do because they were a team that was high on Juan Soto.
Yeah, Devers has struggled at third base. He's also, at the end of last year, got hurt while playing third base. I think there's a serious possibility that Devers DHs. And then you would just slot Bregman in at third. Okay.
Yeah, you could see that. I think they they have their shortstop.
Well, they have Trevor Story, who's been consistently injured.
Yeah. Well, I thought they were having a rookie at shortstop because I was thinking then because you could also have Bregman.
Well, it's because Trevor Story, like in the spring training, got hurt. And
then
they played a rookie throughout at shortstop. And then they had Trevor Story went back in after he got healthy. But he only played 26 games. The starter at shortstop for the season was Rafaela, who was pretty good. Second base was Emmanuel Valdez, who had a negative WAR, though. So if he wanted to go to second base, that'd be a possibility. Or Trevor Story goes to second base, like I think he did after he came back, or Rafaela went to second base. I don't remember. But Devers had a D-WAR last year of negative 0.6. He's had a negative D-WAR his last, basically every season besides one. So I do think there's a serious possibility that he goes to DH.
Yeah, that's something we could definitely see with the Red Sox, and I'm interested to see what happens with that. And second base and shortstop has kind of been a question mark for them as well. Very interesting. Okay, so I'll let you choose the other player.
Let's go Christian Walker. I have Christian Walker going to the Yankees. I don't think Anthony Rizzo re-signs. I think the Yankees see the Juan Soto signing are like, we can sign 2 players for the same amount as they signed 1, and I think they do that.
Okay, I actually have Christian Walker returning to the Diamondbacks.
Okay.
But the Yankees, I am interested to see if they re-sign Rizzo, or Christian Walker would be a good pickup for them as well. I know there was a lot of hype around was it Rice? Who filled in for Rizzo?
Yeah, it was Rice or Oswaldo Cabrera.
I want to say Rice was the guy there was a lot of hype about. But it is something kind of the Yankees of, okay, are we going to spend this money or are we going to stick with our guys as the Juan Soto decision has been made? So, yeah. Okay. So we have Christian Walker and Alex Bregman off the board. Now let's go back to the pitching. Let's go Max Fried before we get to Corbin Burns.
I have Fried going to the Yankees as well.
Ooh.
They've been in a lot of
Okay.
talks with it, and I do think the Yankees could utilize another starting pitcher that's, I think, of great or elite value. And like I said, I think the Yankees truly believe if they don't get Christian Walker, I could see them going for their first base, whether that's Pete Alonso or somebody else for the Yankees, or maybe they do return to Rizzo. But they could have signed him for next year. They could have, but there was a team opt out, and they opted out. But yeah, I think the Yankees signed Max Fried.
Okay. I have Max Fried actually going to the AL East, but it's to the Orioles. So yeah, Max Fried is interesting. I'm surprised. I think he's dealt with some injuries, right?
Yeah.
And that's why the Braves haven't signed him. But I do think he's an intriguing option and will get paid a lot, and can definitely benefit teams. So okay, you have Yankees spending big money. But that is something kind of how do they use the money they were going to pay for Juan Soto. So, okay, so we have Max Fried. Since I said I had the Max Fried going to the Orioles, that means I don't have Corbin Burns returning to the Orioles. I actually have Corbin Burns going to the Padres.
Okay. I have Corbin Burns going to the Phillies. The Phillies struggle with
Ooh.
starting pitching outside of their top guys, and I think Corbin Burns is the guy they need.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. And we surprisingly chose teams that are similar to each other where they're always spending big money. They do make big trades. They're never, especially the Phillies, because last year I think they spent money on a closer, but then the year before was Trey Turner. The year before that was I want to say Schwarber, and Castellanos. So there are teams that will go pay out for star players, and yeah, both are teams needing starting pitching. You already talked about the Phillies, but the Padres, to me, they're getting older with Yu Darvish. Joe Musgrove is out with Tommy John, so there's someone where they need that top end starter.
Yeah, they do.
Okay, I'll let you have the final one, which is Anthony Santander.
I have Santander going to the Blue Jays.
Interesting. That is also where I have Anthony Santander going.
Oh, wow. I did not expect you also having that. I mean, that'd be probably one of the ones that I had the least thought in my mind that you were actually going to pick.
I thought the same thing. I first had I first had the Red Sox, and then I'm like, no, I don't think that happens. And then I remembered the Blue Jays were in on Juan Soto, and wow, okay, that is hilarious. Uh, because I do think they will go after someone. There's someone that have wanted outfielders, and they've kind of been rumored to be big spenders, and it would fit their lineup for hitting. And Anthony Santander is also good in the outfield as well, especially I think they have George Springer in right field.
I think George Springer is going to move back to center because they don't have Kevin Kiermaier anymore.
Okay, that's a fair point. Okay, so yeah, that would just even open up the need for right fielder, and Santander fills that. So let you close this one out.
Yeah, thank you guys for listening. Please let us know where you have any of these guys going, and let us know if you want us to predict any other free agents that are still on the market.